Hey guys, coming at you today with a delicious, creamy, fall festive keto pumpkin cheesecake. So let's get started. Hey everyone, welcome back. If you're new here, thanks for joining me. My name's Alicia and I'm a sous chef with a sweet tooth. And here we make delicious pastries, many from my time as a pastry chef. And my goal is to make the best keto desserts possible. So if you enjoy these recipes, please consider hitting the subscribe button down there, hitting the thumbs up, and leaving me a comment. It all helps my channel grow and to bring you new keto desserts every Saturday. Today, a delicious fall dessert, some pumpkin cheesecake. This is a very simple recipe, but I'm super excited to make it for you today because I'm using my graham cracker recipe. So first time I get to try it out in an actual cheesecake. I actually cut the recipe in half, so it's only half of my graham cracker recipe. So it's only, I think it's 2.5 tablespoons, 35 grams of butter. We gotta melt that in the microwave. My oven is already preheated for once at 350 degrees, and all my ingredients are in the front of the oven on the stove top to soften up real nice. We just gotta sift all our dry ingredients together. We got coconut flour, oat fiber, secret ingredient, egg white protein. It gives you a crispy crust, and a little bit of cinnamon and xanthan gum. Get all that out of there. And Golden Monkfruit Sweetener. Got a big hunk of sweetener in there. Can't have that. Of course, I can't find my whisk anywhere. Gonna have to dirty another one. Stir your dry ingredients together. You don't want no xanthan gum pockets. Now, I'm one of those people that likes less crust, but if you like more crust, you can do my full graham cracker recipe. Add your little bit of vanilla extract into your butter. Mix it up a little bit. I had a spatula too. Ah, there we go. Butter into dry ingredients. I believe this is a 9-inch. I think I measured it once, it was a 9-inch. But you can use a 10-inch or an 8-inch for this. 10-inch you might want a little bit more crust. Once it's all mixed up, put it into the bottom of your springform pan. And you spread it out. I think it's time for me to get a new springform pan because it sounds like the bottom is bowed a little bit. For a not flat cheesecake. Oop, don't push too hard. Okay, that looks good to me. It is a pretty thin crust, but the other crust was too thick and didn't really get crispy. So, you know how it is with our crispy cookies. You gotta have it just the right thickness to get a nice crispy cookie. So I'm gonna pop this in the oven for 8 to 10 minutes. You just want it to start getting golden brown around the edges. 8 minutes, nice and golden brown all around the edges. Set this aside and get started on our filling. Now, if you've seen any of my latest cheesecake videos, you know I now use a food processor because I remembered from an old pastry job that we used to use a food processor to make all our cheesecakes, and it makes it super fast, super smooth, which is what we need for our keto cheesecakes because we need to make sure our granular sweetener is really well mixed in there, otherwise you get graininess in your baked goods. So I got 2 blocks of softened cream cheese in here. I'm gonna buzz it up real quick if I'm plugged in, which I'm not. So many testing and all the different equipment I gotta use. The right way, there we go. Let's do that again. I love this food processor. It will be linked below. It was like 40 bucks or something. One time it did come cracked, but I sent it right back and they sent me a brand new one. It's powerful. Okay, pretty whipped and fluffy already. I'm gonna do golden monk fruit this time, but first time I did classic. So you can do any kind of sweetener you want, really. Again, allulose burns very easily when it is baking, so I wouldn't suggest using all allulose if you want to use allulose. Say just use a tiny bit with some maybe stevia or something like that. If you don't like the monk fruit or the erythritol, blend this up really good till there's no graininess left. Scraping down several times. Once you are really whipped up and you don't see any sugar granules left, you are good to start adding in your eggs. We just got 2 room temperature eggs here. I'm gonna do 1 at a time. The biggest thing with the food processor is just making sure you get like underneath the blades, on the bottom, all in the corners. You got clumpies. Make sure you don't got no clumpies. Don't want a lumpy cheesecake. If you haven't tried any of my cheesecake recipes, you know, mine is like a really soft, silky, smooth cheesecake. It's not like one of those denser, like cakey kind of cheesecakes. That's the way I like them though. Now we just gotta add in our sour cream. 1/4 cup. But mine's not very dense cheesecake with a lot of eggs, no flour or cornstarch or any of that stuff. There's a lot of different recipes out there. Mine is pretty simple and it's the creamiest. And then 6 ounces of pumpkin, which helps make this pumpkin cheesecake. If I can speak today. 1 tablespoon of vanilla. I'm gonna blend that up and then I'm gonna just add the 1 tablespoon of pumpkin pie spice. Once you add the pumpkin in there, you can really see where you have to scrape. See where there's white. You move your blade all the way around and get all the cheese off the bottom. Here we just gotta add our 1 tablespoon of pumpkin pie spice. You can use just cinnamon. You can make your own spice blend if you want. Give that a pulse. One more scrape, 1 more pulse, and into your crust. It off of here. There we go. Move that. Now if you have food processor like this, you can hold the blade underneath and pour. That way your blade doesn't fall out on you. And then once you get the blade mostly cleaned off, take it out. I should have pulled it out with my left hand. Can't scrape with my left. Get rid of that. Drop it all over the floor. Put the rest of your filling in there. Give it a good shake. Make sure it's all nice and even. And then we're gonna pop this in the oven, 350 again, and we're gonna bake it for 25 to 30 minutes. And then we're gonna turn the oven off and crack the door and let it sit in there till it cools completely. And I'll probably be back tomorrow to slice into it. And I'm definitely turning that halfway through so it bakes evenly. This is at 25 minutes. It's just slightly jiggly, but it's like done around the edges. I'm gonna turn off the oven and put a spoon in there. And we'll be back in a couple of hours to take it out of the oven. Okay, it's been sitting in the oven for a couple of hours. It's to prevent cracking, which looks like it did prevent it from fully cracking. If you do overbake it, it does crack. I think the last time I baked it for 30 and it was a little too done, so it cracked, but this time did not. So I'm going to let it cool the rest of the way on the counter, and then I'm going to put plastic wrap and tin foil over the top and shoot it into the refrigerator. Be back tomorrow to slice into it. Okay, it's the next day, which means we get to eat our pumpkin cheesecake. And of course, I gotta be a little bit extra, so I want to decorate the top of this. And this is great if your cheesecake cracked on you, which the last one I made did. It's if you just overbake it by the littlest bit, it will crack on you. But I did not overbake this one, so I didn't really get many cracks in the top, but I wanna show you if that happens, what you can do. First, we gotta get this thing out of here, which it looks like it pretty much came away from the tin, but I still go around, make sure it's loose before I hit that spring form. Do not want any stickage. There we go. Clean up the sides. You don't want any of that stuff on there. Okay, so now something we do in the restaurant industry is we make a little sour cream topping, put on our cheesecakes, make them look extra nice and finished. So I have a half cup of sour cream here. This is not going to be in the macros. This is just extra for decoration. But sour cream is only a couple of carbs. I'm going to add a quarter teaspoon of cinnamon because this is pumpkin cheesecake. Otherwise, I would just do a sweetened sour cream, if I can speak. And I just have a little bit of powdered monk fruit sweetener here. I'm not going to use all of this. Guess I'll measure for you guys. I don't usually measure. I just sifted some into a container so that it wasn't clumpy. I'm going to start with a half a tablespoon. We're just going to give it a little whisk. Might not need all the sour cream either. I measured it so that I would know how much I'm using, but I don't usually measure when I do it, so I might have more than I need. Just want it nice and sweetened. So let's give this a taste. Still needs more. Still just tastes like sour cream. So I don't usually measure, so. Another half tablespoon. It's getting there. I don't like a ton of monk fruit erythritol because I don't want it to have a cooling effect. So I'm going to add a little bit of liquid vanilla stevia. Ooh, I got caramel stevia. Add a quarter teaspoon of that. That'll be yummy. I thought about that yesterday and then forgot about it today. Clean spoon. That's good. You just take this, pour it in the center. Again, I'm not sure I'm going to need all this. Clean your spatula. I would be using my mini offset, but after filming yesterday, I did dishes, so it's in the dishwasher. This would be helpful to get my cake turner down off the top of the fridge, but too late now. Just smooth out the top. If you do have cracks, the more frosting you're going to need because the cracks will get filled with the sour cream. Just want a thin layer on top. That looks nice. So I only used about half of this, so I'll make it a recipe down in the description box. And then I have some salted roasted pumpkin seeds. I'm going to sprinkle these on top, make it look real fancy. If you haven't tried these, they are delicious. I might make some of these candied for Christmas gifts this year. Keto candied pumpkin seeds. So good. Okay, time to slice into this guy. Okay, like I always said, it's good to have hot water and a hot knife to slice into this. I'm gonna make it harder with the pumpkin seeds on top. But if you cut this into 12 slices, it's 3 grams of net carbs. So you cut it into quarters and then cut each quarter into thirds. Just makes it really clean if you have a hot knife. Might have made that one a little bit bigger. Now, my pie server is also in the dishwasher right now, so I'm gonna have to use my knife to get this out. Come on. It looks delicious. Like I said, mine is super creamy cheesecake. It's not like a super dense, thick cheesecake. Super good. Lost a little bit of crust there, but not too bad. It is a pretty thin crust, but that's how I like it. I actually remembered a fork this time. Time to try this bad boy. It looks delicious. Super creamy cheesecake. It's really nice with the crunch of the pumpkin seeds on top. You can also decorate with chopped pecans. It'll be really good. Cinnamony. It's got some cloves, some ginger in there. Super good. Crust is just crispy on the bottom. It is so deliciously creamy. This is the perfect addition to your Thanksgiving meal. No one would know this is keto. They'd be super impressed if you decorate it and make it look all fancy. Give this a try. They won't be disappointed. Hope you guys enjoy this video. and you try this recipe out for yourself, don't forget to check out my Amazon link and the blog link to the full recipe in the description box below. Give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And as always, I'll be back with many more keto dessert recipes. Bye guys.